Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. As Miss Ido introduced me earlier, my name's Jinthe, and my topic today is space colonization. Now, has anyone here ever heard of something related to space or even space colonization? Just put your hands up. Wow, that's a lot of people. Good job. Okay, so I actually didn't know anything about space colonization, or I barely knew anything about this except Star Wars. Until a few months ago, when a few of my teachers came up to me and asked whether or not I was interested in doing this. So I was thinking, what's related to the future? Star Wars? Movies? I was like, space? Oh, wouldn't it be cool if one day we all lived in space? So this led me to believe that one day we might all live in space. Right? That sounds cool, doesn't it? Yeah. So humans have been exploring and discovering for such a long time. Since the 15th century was the last time we had a big age of exploration. Now, considering this was such a long time ago, I think it will only make sense we'd move on to space next. So growing up, I absolutely loved watching Star Wars with my little brother. He should be somewhere in the audience right now. Where is he? Point to him. Point to my brother. Yeah, that's my brother. So we watched a lot of Star Wars growing up. Because Star Wars is cool, right guys? Yeah. So watching these kind of movies like Star Wars, we were always fascinated at the fact that normal people like us got to live and travel throughout space. So watching movies like Star Wars, Star Trek, and Elite really made me wonder what our future could be like. So as I mentioned earlier, is space colonization or just space-related things something from movies, or does this happen in real life? Because I haven't really heard of a plan that sounds serious and like it wasn't made up by someone on Reddit when they were like half asleep. So I'm going to be moving on now. This is a model of our solar system. In case you don't know, the blue dot on your left is Earth, right? Yeah. Now, our planet is so tiny compared to others, but still we've managed to do some pretty great things, like this, a camera. Isn't it mind-blowing how if you just press a button, you can literally capture a moment? You can just save a moment forever. That's pretty cool. But we've also made some not so great things, like this. A baby shark. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah? But even though we've made so many amazing things and some not so amazing things, we're still facing one major problem: global warming. As both speakers before me have also mentioned, we can't keep going on like this. As we can take a look from my graph over here, which shows how carbon emissions have been rising throughout the years, it's not looking good, right? If we keep going on at this rate, our three pillars of society will fall down. First, the environment. If there's too much carbon in our air, it either won't rain or it will be acid rain, which will both kill our vegetation. If most of our vegetation is gone, all herbivore animals won't have food. And if they die, carnivore animals also won't have food, and the domino effect continues. After most of the environment has fallen, us, society, is next. If we don't have an environment anymore, it's hard for us to keep living, because we won't have food, water, or anything. And then afterwards, the economy will fall. So it falls like a domino. Now, if all three of our pillars of society fall, there will be a lot of chaos. Just like going to the market before Chinese New Year. Now, our planet is pretty tiny, yet we're dealing with a major problem: global warming. And has anyone here ever seen Wally? Wally, raise your hand. Wally. Yeah? I see most people here have seen Wally. That's good. So we all know that in Wally, people had to leave the Earth because of global warming and pollution. Same thing could happen to us. I think us going out to space should come more from our curiosity within, rather than something like global warming. We want to explore, discover, and make new technologies, rather than being chased out into space because of global warming. Now, moving on. Space, it's big, it's pretty, and there's much to explore. But space is much more than just a pretty face, just like Mr. Bean. In case you didn't know, he's also an engineer, so he is more than just a funny/pretty face. So in space, there's also lots of opportunities, which is why it's more than just a pretty face. As you can see, there's a lot of opportunities available out there, but my main focus is going to be asteroid mining. Now, why do you think companies are so interested in asteroid mining? Just think about it by yourself for like 5 seconds. Yeah, you all have an answer? Yeah, just think about it in your head. So I've narrowed it down to 4 things. If you think it's diamonds, put your hands up. Nobody. Oh, 1 person. Good job. 2. Oh, okay, 2 people. Now, if you think it's gold, put your hands up. Same 2 people, I think. Now, if you think it's fuel, put your hands up. Oh, wow, that's a lot of people. Now, finally, if you think it's dragon eggs, put your hands up. Yeah, dragon eggs. Yeah, okay, dragon eggs. Y'all believe it's dragon eggs? Well, I hate to disappoint. We still haven't found dragon eggs. Maybe in the future, when we discover alien life, we might find dragon eggs. But for now, asteroids. Why is that a cabbage? But for now, asteroids only contain fuel that we know of. Now, companies are so interested in figuring out a way to get this fuel out, because if they do, they could open the doors to a huge 50 billion market. That's a lot of money, in case you didn't know. I don't know how many RMB, you can calculate that yourself. Yeah, so there's lots of asteroids out there. And NASA estimates there's over 15,000 that fly dangerously close to Earth's radius. Just imagine how many more there are out there. A lot. Now, we all know the more there is of something, the less it's worth, right? You all know that? So the more fuel we have, the cheaper it will be, which will make fuel for cars, airplanes, and rockets cheaper. So this can bring us closer to our space dream. Now, if there's so many asteroids and so many opportunities out there, like I showed earlier on my pie graph, more people will have jobs. We can take an example at this from the Industrial Revolution. Here we can see employment rates during the Industrial Revolution and before in England. We can see that in 50 years before the Industrial Revolution, 50 years after the Industrial Revolution, my excuses, employment rose by almost double. Same thing could happen to us if we go out into space. More people will have jobs, they can buy more things, grow a stronger economy, people will be richer. Now, space is amazing. It's big, it's beautiful, and there's lots of opportunities out there, which is why I think one day we might all live in space. Now, as much as I'd love to keep talking about how cool space is, because it is, I need to conclude everything now. So, I know at the beginning, many people already agreed with me that space travel is obviously the best. But if you didn't agree with me, I hope I was able to convince you otherwise due to the opportunities that await us out there. So I've watched quite a few TED Talks lately, and they always, or like the ones I liked, always end in a joke or pun kind of way. So I'm doing my best to redo that, so here I go. So I think one day we might all live in space because it sounds cool, and it's cool out there. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, it sounded so much better in my head. You could have pretended to laugh at least, okay? Yeah, that's better, that's better. So, can our generation be the one to achieve an ideal future? Can we become Generation F future? Or are we going to give up, let global warming consume us, and become Generation F failure? I don't know, but for now, let's remain Generation F flexible. I'm Jinthe, thank you for having me.